that will do. This tree here, we planted that last year. It died in the winter. It didn't have what it took to make it through the winter, so I'll dig it out. This tree will now die for sure. Where's my shovel? Shovel. Rest in peace. It's just so dead. It is just so dead. Dead, dead, dead. Dead, 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 dead. All right, let's get the plants out of here. Let's get the plants out. Here's what we'll do. I'll make a pile, I'll chop them up, and I'll put them in the, whatever it's called. Compost box.
What brings you here?
I am honored. We have a friend.
Just want to make sure they're all uprooted. Okay. Oh, that's probably fine. Okay. In the bin they go.
guys, I'm back, and over the years I've seen so many people make the same mistakes over and over again, and with all the new players coming into Sea of Thieves because of the Battle Pass, I thought I'd make a video of the top 10 mistakes new players make. Also, while recording this video, my original plan was to just demonstrate all of these mistakes myself, but I happened to run into a single crew that did over half of my list, so thank you to them for saving me a bunch of time. Okay, starting with number 10, not keeping track of your ammo. I see new players all the time spamming the shoot button until they inevitably run out of ammo without realizing it, but then it's too late. I do my best to track how much ammo an enemy has left, so if I'm doing it, you should too. And you can always tell when they're out of ammo because of that dreadful clicking sound. Number 9, I've said this before, but stop putting kegs on your ship. They can be blown up in a multitude of ways, so it is just not worth it. So stop doing it before you learn the hard way. Number 8, firebombs. I see new players use firebombs constantly, sometimes even on their own ships like in this video. Firebombs can be a great way to keep an enemy ship busy, but they don't do any damage on impact, so stop throwing them at other players. Besides, any decent player can put out a fire quickly, so unless you're spawn camping them, you're probably just wasting your time. Number 7, nothing is less intimidating than the blunder sniper. So many new players try and use the blunderbuss from miles away and do very little damage. You basically have to be point blank to do anything significant, so stop trying to use it like a sniper rifle. Number 6, not watching your ladders. So many crews do not pay attention to their ladders at all, even when they know there's an enemy crew attacking them. This could be the difference between life or death. You need to pay attention and watch for mermaids and try and listen for this splash sound, which means someone's climbing up. Number 5, not blocking while in a sword fight. All you have to do is hold your block and aim in the direction of the person slashing at you, and you'll be better than a large portion of players. Don't just spam the attack button, try and play more defensively.
I'm gonna keep it a $1.50 with y'all. Y'all don't want the smoke.
Number 4, I want you to actually try and figure this one out for yourself. Hopefully, this fight looks a bit different than my other clips. See if you can figure out why.
Are you fucking serious? Bullshit.
If you guess that it's because the camera's more zoomed in, then you're correct. This is using the game's default field of view, which makes it way harder to see what's going on. You want to go into settings, gameplay, and make sure you have the field of view set all the way up to 90. This will make it way easier for you to tell what's going on around you. Just for reference, here's the game's default field of view, and here it is at max. May not seem like a lot, but it makes a world of difference. Number 3, not managing your sail correctly. This is a mistake most new players make, and to be fair, it is pretty confusing. If you notice there's a crosswind coming at me, and the sloop in front has their sails to the side, you would think that makes sense, but the sloop is a special case. If you can't catch the wind at all, meaning you can't get a full billow in your sails, you want to have the sails faced directly forward on the sloop at all times. This is how you achieve max speed going into the wind, and the sloop is actually the fastest boat going directly into a headwind. Now, for the galleon and the brig, you want to actually do what that sloop is doing and have your sail facing the wind as much as possible, unless you're going directly against the wind, in which case you want to have them straight forward. Number 2, I don't know how many times I have to keep saying this, stop using your anchor. This boat right here anchored with their sails down, allowing me to just pull up and fire on them, and they can't move or do anything. Stop using your anchor, just roll up your sails all the way when you want to come to a full stop. This crew used their anchor constantly. Right here, anchor. Here, anchor again. Some crews think they're being clever by trying to drop anchor and then catch you on their broadside, but it never works out and it just makes you a sitting duck. Stop doing it. And the number 1 mistake is quit wearing the Reaper costume. Everyone wears this. Every new player finds this outfit and puts it on. So if you want to be taken seriously, wear literally anything else. I see people in the forums before they even get in the game saying, how do I get this cool outfit? The brig I was fighting that made all of these mistakes, 2 out of 3 of them had this on. They're everywhere. Please, please wear something else. Okay, but seriously, this is a game about cosmetic progression, and what's really important is that your pirate looks cool to you. So just try and have fun, have a good time, and wear whatever you want. Just not this. Okay, that's all I have for today. I stream every weekday and most weekends at twitch.tv/blurbs. If you have any other questions or you just want to come hang out or say what's up, please feel free to stop by. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Hey guys, I'm back with another PvP tips video, and it has been an entire year since my very first PvP guide for Sea of Thieves. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching all of my videos and allowing me to do this as a full-time job. So I thought to celebrate, I will do one giant comprehensive guide in as little time as possible. So here we go. Okay, first things first is which mode should you play, Adventure or Arena mode? Arena is more of a structured type of PvP that is kind of like Capture the Flag. It is no longer supported by the devs and has pretty long wait time, so you might want to play Adventure instead. And yes, you can play Adventure mode solo, and while it is the hardest way to play the game, it is also the quickest way to get better. Okay, once you're actually in game, you want to go into your graphics settings and make sure your FOV is maxed out at 90, and if you're on controller, you want to put your sensitivity as high as you're comfortable with. And I've been told by controller players that you want to rebind jump to RB and your food to A. As far as general Sea of Thieves tips go, just know that anyone can sink you at any time for any reason, so you shouldn't be salty about it. Your loot is not actually yours until you've successfully turned it in. And if you play Sea of Thieves without caring too much about loot, you'll have way more fun. You can always go make more treasure. It's a game about cosmetics anyway. When you're in a fight with other people, make sure you keep moving. Do not stand still. That's the easiest way to get hit. And also be sure that you're always at full health. If you're going to run from another ship, make sure you fight while running. Jump off your ship, board them, try and keg them, etc. Okay, let's talk weapons. I think the best starting loadout for a new player is probably the sword and pistol. However, once you've got some experience, you should just use what you're most comfortable with. So the sword is great for mobility and is easy to use, hard to master. The pistol is a great all-around weapon, especially if you get knocked off your boat, you can still defend yourself underwater. The blunderbuss is great for defending the deck of your ship, but if you get knocked in the water, you're kind of out of luck. And the sniper is great for mid to long range combat, and it can be used at close range with quick scopes and is often used to double gun. More specifically about the sword, if you hold right click or left trigger, you can block incoming sword attacks. Just make sure you aim directly at them. Whenever you're doing a lunge, make sure you block first. That way you get extra movement speed. You can actually do what's called a lunge jump, where you hold your block, activate the lunge, and right after it activates, you jump, sending you flying, and you can do this into water for extra speed. If you jump in any direction while blocking, you'll do what's called a sword hop. This is great for keeping your movement unpredictable and dodging enemy shots. You can also sword hop directly through another player and then turn around and start attacking their back. In addition to that, you want to be spinning around or jumping over an opponent while you're continuously attacking them with your sword, making it more difficult for them to block. You can also do a really good move that's called a turn and burn, where if you start running and get an enemy player to chase you, you can jump, spin around, and charge a lunge for some easy surprise damage. Now onto throwables. Firebombs are not actually as useful as you think. Any decent crew can put out fires very quickly, but they can be good on immobilized ships to cause chaos or ignite kegs. Blunderbombs are actually great. They are very useful as a ranged weapon if you're out of ammo, especially in water, and you should definitely use them to follow up a chain shot to make sure an enemy crew doesn't catch their mast as it's falling. Before leaving an outpost, you want to make sure to get as many supplies as possible, and you can buy these directly from the merchant, which I would highly recommend. However, you want to be sure to loot the island first, and you need to keep an eye out for chain shots, curse balls, and high tier fruit. The tiers of fruit going from best to worst is pineapple, mango, pomegranate, coconut, and banana. Now for some quick ship tips, never ever anchor, otherwise you'll be a sitting duck. If you need to park, just roll up your sails until you slowly come to a stop. Be sure to listen for holes or fire on your boat because you want to take care of those unless you're in a fight with another player, in which case you probably want to wait to repair until you don't have an angle on the enemy ship. And if you hear this sound, That is the death drone of your ship, so you should stop what you're doing immediately and start repairing. For optimum sail management on the galley and the brig, you want to always try and catch the wind as best you can, unless you're going into a headwind. On all 3 ships, if you're going into a headwind, meaning the wind is going directly at you and your flag is facing your wheel, you want to keep your sails perfectly forward. It does make sense, that's just how it works. And on the sloop, if you can't catch full billow, keep your sails forward at all times for maximum speed. Let's talk chain shots. They will break your mast, wheel, or capstan, and when aiming them, you want to be sure to aim a little bit higher than you would a normal cannonball. If you see one coming your way, you want to be sure to straighten your wheel first. That way you won't spin into a broadside. Lift it up, go put 1 board on it, and then go back to your sail, drop it, and then finish repairing once you get moving. Okay, cursed cannonballs. They're a special type of cannonball that will apply a status effect to either a ship or a player, purple being ship, green being players. The ones you want to look out for are anchor balls, which will drop an enemy's anchor, stun balls like weary or jig balls, which will stun an enemy and prevent them from shooting back at you or catching a falling mast, ballast or limp balls, which are specifically great for taking down galleons, a rigging ball, which will prevent enemies from escaping or catching a fallen mast, and peace balls, which are great for preventing enemies from shooting back at you if you get caught in their broadside. Moving on to naval combat, you want to be sure to immobilize your enemy, make some holes, and then board them and protect those holes. You want to be sure to spawn camp them until sunk. It's not toxic, that's just how the game works. When shooting an enemy ship, you want to be sure to aim at the lower decks to make sure they take on water. To fine tune your aim, you want to look to see where each shot lands and use that to line up your next shot. You'll know you're getting hit successfully when you hear a musical cue. If you hear a noise that sounds like a sandbag and you hear the death music, that means you one-balled someone, you hit them in the face with a cannonball. If an enemy ship is shooting at you with their cannons, you can try and shoot your cannonballs at their cannon line to try and kill them and prevent that. So ship positioning, you want to avoid enemies broadside at all time. You want to have your cannons aimed at them without them being able to aim back at you. If you have a ship mobilized, you want to do what's called a death spiral, where you raise your sails up a bit and continually adjust your wheel to spin around them in a perfect circle while you sink them. Don't ram. Ram strat is not actually best strat. It's usually not worth it and will create too many holes in your boat. If you're fighting a much bigger ship, you want to be sure to keep your distance, immobilize them, get some holes, board them, and try and sink them that way. Now I mentioned boarding. Boarding is an essential part of naval combat in Sea of Thieves. Whenever you're shooting yourself out of your cannon to an enemy ship, you have to aim a little bit higher than you would a normal cannonball, kind of like a chain shot, and it makes a very distinct noise. You want to listen to that noise, because if you hear that, someone might actually be trying to board you. But when you get to an enemy ladder and they're ladder guarding, you want to do what I call a ladder drop, where you just grab and let go of the ladder repeatedly until they hopefully miss a shot, allowing you to board. Now once on board, you probably want to anchor them unless they're near a fort or something you can ram them into, in which case you want to take over their wheel and try and do that. Like I said, you want to be sure to watch out for people trying to actually board your ship, especially if you're chasing another boat directly behind them. They'll probably try and board you. You can listen for their mermaid, which sounds like this, which means they're probably about to board you. But more importantly, you need to listen to the splash sound that it makes when someone grabs your ladder, and that sounds like this. As far as stealth goes, I'm sure you've seen people do what's called tucking, where you hide on an enemy ship while they do a quest, and then you can try and steal it. And to do this, you need to go to the Pirate Emporium, which is located above the Order of Souls. Go in there and go to the Pirate tab, and then you want to find a pack called the Hide and Sneak Bundle, and in there is a free emote called Hide, and you want to purchase that. This free emote will actually hide your character and your nameplate, so you can go hide on enemy ships and try and get into some shenanigans. Okay, we have to talk about kegs. I know you probably think you're a god because you blow up newer players all the time with kegs, but do not keep kegs on your ship. Any decent crew will see them and blow them up immediately. It is absolutely not worth it. If an enemy tries to board your ship with a keg, just be calm, let it happen. Once it explodes, just start repairing immediately. Emissaries are the most misunderstood mechanic by newer players in Sea of Thieves. What it is, if you put up an emissary flag for a faction, you get increased rep and gold with that faction when turning in loot, but it makes you a target. It is a risk versus reward system, because once the Reaper's Bones emissary hits rank 5, it can see all other emissaries in the map, so it makes you a target, so don't put this up if you don't want PvP. Speaking of Reaper emissaries, these show up on the map at all times, so if you want to avoid PvP, be sure to check your map and avoid them. You can actually see how many emissaries are on a given server by joining the server and then going around to the emissary tables, and on the tables will be a little toy boat which represents one crew flying that flag. So this is a great way to hop servers and check server activity, try and find a populated server if you're looking for PvP. Also, just want to mention very quickly, a mistake newer players make all the time is they put up the Reaper's Mark flag because they think it looks cool, when actually it marks you on the map for PvP. So if you want to avoid PvP, do not do this. Okay, that's it for me today. Oh god, I'm running out of time. I have exclusive in-game items I give away every Wednesday, and occasionally I have Twitch drops on my stream at twitch.tv/blurbs, where I stream every weekday and most weekends. We also have an amazing Discord community, which is very helpful. Join it. And oh shit. Yeah, sword's fine. Alright, hacker. Oh, it's been a while, chat. You know what? It's been a while, guys.
their champion as well. I think. Yeah. Grade 1 champion. Fight?
Sure. Wow. Kill cannon. Top mast.
Kill one.
Yeah. Kill him again.
The rest.
Yeah. Can probably slow down here. That's big.
Yeah.
Whoa, oh my god, a pellet hit me.
Oh my god. I heard that.
Just up.
Yeah. It's kind of beaming the snipes, huh?
Mm-hmm. Did you get hit?
No.
Okay.
Who's even peeking?
Dude. I don't know.
I mean, like, I guess I see why they're champion.
Mm-hmm.
It's like just running around beaming snipes. What? Crazy. Like, I don't want to board that. Hit the guy in the back. Hit the guy in the back again.
Dude.
Does he hit you there?
Yeah, I hit pistol.
What? Crazy. I hear you getting hit, dude.
No.
Ow. Hit one.
I.
Oh, it's Swedish. Some cannon. Hit cannon.
These guys are insane.
Mm-hmm. Hit. Ride and beaming as well. Risk mast. Hit.
Wanna go, dude?
No, it one in the back.
What up, what up, what up? We back. How's everybody doing? Me? Better. But I will say, let's keep it brief, though. In case you missed it, the reason why I've been gone for like 2 weeks is because Kayla had an ectopic, I believe it's called, pregnancy. What, T1? Kayla was pregnant? What? You guys are trying for a baby? Yes. Okay? Spoiler alert. Yes. It's about that time that T2 starts running around. That we get little T run around. Yes, bro. We've been trying for about 7 months. Yes, guys. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like because me and Kayla watch like Amy clips or what all the time. I'm still a young 28. I'm fairly young. Yes. So me and Kayla have been trying for a child. There you go. Okay. But like I said, she had an ectopic pregnancy, which is long story short is it's not. It was only like she was only like 5-6 weeks pregnant. Which is like almost 2 months, which isn't too bad if you think about it, kind of early. Basically, I'm not a doctor, but I've done enough research. Basically, what happened was, okay, if there's any toddlers in the chat, please mute. It's a little bit rated R. So the sperm, there's tubes, and at the end of the tubes is the egg. When the egg drops, the sperm pushes the egg, and it goes through the tube. Okay. And then it goes into the uterus. And then the baby grows. That's how a normal pregnancy is. Okay? But an ectopic pregnancy, which is what happened to Kayla, is when the sperm and the egg don't make it to the uterus. It gets and like implants in the ovaries or the something or the tube itself. And as it goes to the tube, it implants itself in the tube. Then it tries to start growing in the tube. That's happened to Kayla, right? And the doctor said that sperm are pretty degenerate. If you look at them under a microscope, sperm are just like, they have something wrong with them in the head. Now, I can only imagine my sperm. Those guys are probably little hooligans in there, right? So it rammed into the egg and the sperm right into the wall. And it started like growing, right? Into Kayla's thing. Well, unfortunately, when that happens, if it's not treated, you get like a shot and it kills it right away, so you can keep your tube. Fortunately, that's not happened with Kayla, and it like grew so long we didn't know she wasn't having symptoms, and it burst. Like it burst in the tube, and it like opened the tube, and Kayla was bleeding horribly inside. Actually, like so terribly that her hypoemin, whatever level, is like average at 12. It drops like 5.7. So, and I was like talking about it. Oh, so she was currently bleeding terribly. To the point where Kayla couldn't even walk. Looking back at it, it's crazy. Kayla couldn't stand up for longer than probably 7 seconds before she would faint and collapse. Every time, no matter what, that's it. So we got to the ER, which, by the way, let me talk about this for a second. I don't want to dangle too much on this. It makes me mad, make it a little bit emotional. By the way, bro, these people that work at ERs, okay, I get it. They see a lot of terrible stuff, and like doctors and nurses, they see a lot of terrible stuff, right, bro? I get it, but you have to act like you care. It's part of the. I'm gonna cuss. Test me. They have to act like it's part of the bro. So we get there and we tell them, yo guys, by the way, she's pregnant. She's having stomach pain. These clowns are probably like, just another young pregnant bitch. Probably is what they're saying. Easy stomach pains, no problem. No problem. Go sit down in the waiting room. We'll get to you eventually. But we're there for like an hour. So Kayla, this whole time, by the way, is bleeding. If you want to be honest, Kayla, it's really hard to say, but Kayla was dying. Unironically, like actually, they have she's bleeding. She's dying in the waiting room, right? They're not doing anything. I hear them. They're like laughing, like telling jokes, popping their gum behind the desk. At this point, I'm losing my mind, right? Some girl keeps like walking around doing something like on her like fake talking on the phone. Oh, girl, I wish she would. Like, you know what I mean? So I get up and I'm like, I'm actually, you guys see me on stream, I'm actually very, 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 very calm in person, okay? I don't get mad in person. I really don't. I swear to God, I don't get mad. But when I do get mad in person, it's like a volcano. Like, I get mad, like I start shaking, I yell and crazy. So I walk up and I'm like trying to not yell. I'm not trying to get kneed out. So I'm not trying to yell at the guy, but I'm like, do you guys know when she can get in? I've like paused after every word. And they're like, well, we have an open room she can. At this point, Kayla has, okay, at this point when I go up and ask how much longer, Kayla has fainted twice. Apparently she went to use the bathroom, and she fainted in the bathroom. It was a girl's bathroom, I didn't even know. Apparently a nurse walked in, just like ignored her, and then walked back out while she was on the ground, by the way. I didn't know this until after. Thank God I didn't. I would have fucking went crazy. Anyway, so then we sit back down. I'm like, okay, when's the room gonna open up? When's the room gonna open up? Blah, blah, blah. So this was an hour. So Kayla was bleeding internally for at least an hour in the ER waiting room. So this guy comes in, this 17-year-old, and his hand is like broken. I hear he has a broken hand. He's like laughing with his friends. Like, I broke it 3 days ago. I hit a wall. Okay, he said this. This was, by the way, these guys came in 20 minutes after us. Bro, these guys got called back before us. They came in 20 minutes after us. So finally, I think it was an hour and 27 minutes that Kayla was bleeding out in the lobby. They finally call her name, right? And at this point, she tries to stand up. She collapses. I have to carry